Good afternoon, I'm Belinda De Lasheras with Hunter News. Unionists are stepping up their campaign to support the Hunter's shipbuilding industry. A Senate inquiry into the sector is underway at Newcastle City Hall amid concerns 1,000 jobs could be lost from the Tomago and Carrington shipyards if the federal government continues to buy Navy ships from overseas companies. New South Wales Secretary of the Australian Manufacturing Workers Union, Tim Ayres, says the future is bleak unless the government changes its stance.
We know we've got the most highly skilled, capable shipbuilding industry in the Southern Hemisphere. It's about time that the Abbott government shifted from denigrating their fellow Australians to supporting the industry and to making sure that we've got the capacity into the future to have a strong domestic local capability in this important area.
The Abbott government's $7 GP tax has come under fire once again following the release of internal briefing papers claiming the co-payment could cause patients to flood Hunter hospitals. New South Wales Health's performance reporting branch modelling indicates the tax could bump up emergency department costs by an additional $80 million annually. Shadow Health Minister Walt Secord says it'll mean increased waiting times and a further burden on already stretched resources.
So it's independent modelling, and it shows that 500,000 people will go to emergency wards. Now that'll drive up waiting times at John Hunter, Belmont, Calvary Mater, and Maitland hospitals. And at the moment, only 81% of people are seen within 4 hours. That's the national benchmark. It's going to get worse.
Hunter tourism experts have cast a shadow of doubt over Labor's plans for a major convention and exhibition centre in Newcastle's West End if it wins the March state election. The opposition is promising to release government land on the corner of Honeysuckle Drive and the former Lee Wharf Road to build a facility which would host up to 3,500 people. Tourism Hunter Chairman Will Creedon says there's a number of details which need to be clarified.
Firstly, Newcastle and the Hunter need a convention centre. However, we need a sensible, responsible approach to it. I'm for one, and I know our industry is not about toast bubbles. We're about reality. I'd like to understand the absolute detail of what Mr Robinson is preparing.
Meanwhile, Newcastle Greens by-election candidate Michael Osborne says any plans for a convention centre need to be kept out of developer hands and put up for community consultation.
Newcastle's been held back by plans that have been imposed on Newcastle from Sydney bureaucrats and Sydney-based developers. We really need to get everyone in the room in Newcastle people determining the future of Newcastle and where we want Newcastle to go.
John Hunter Hospital patients will now be able to recuperate with enhanced meal options following the introduction of new menus. The improved selection was developed with the help of Hunter dietitians in a bid to meet statewide nutrition standards. It includes a hot breakfast option for all patients on a full diet, fresh salads, sandwiches, nutritious soups and desserts, as well as a larger selection of hot meals at lunch and dinner. Updating sport, Newcastle Knight stars David Fa'alongo and Joey Leilua have been named in Samoa's 23-man squad to compete in this year's Four Nations series. The team will leave for Samoa on Friday as part of a week-long training camp before returning to Brisbane ahead of their opening match against England on October 25. Meanwhile, it's been confirmed a short list of prominent Newcastle candidates are currently being interviewed for the new Knights board, prompting hopes the body will be finalised by the end of the month. Veteran Sports Administrator John Quayle says he's focused on helping secure the 4 independent directors and community delegate who'll join the boardroom, alongside the NRL's own 2 stakeholder appointments. While the NRL has recently spoken to British billionaire Marwan Kokash, who's expressed interest in purchasing the club, to rule private ownership off the cards for the short term. And Jets midfielder Marcos Flores has added another hit of spice to the side's fierce A-League rivalry with the Mariners after launching a scathing verbal attack on his former club at yesterday's season launch. 2 in your RFM News Time is 12:10.